Well, water comes from the tap. When rain goes down the storm drain, these technologies or infrastructure of water in our everyday life, we don't really think about where it comes from or goes. And so students can learn about the water cycle in school, but what these camps are a way to try to get them to really feel the interconnectedness of water in the landscape.
I think we could. Because the answer is right here.
So there's 2 camps. They're chock full of activities. It's all hands-on. They start each week at a familiar location, a drinking fountain in the lobby.
Where does it come from? Where does it go?
Or the storm drain in the street, and that really becomes the point that the adventure begins.
Well, I think one of the really powerful things about the Water Journey camp and the way it's set up is that it's really experiential. And we gave cameras to each student so that they could be, and journals and notebooks, so they could be taking their own notes and observations and experiencing it through their own lenses.
I have to say, as a counselor, I was very nervous about the idea at first because I've never seen a summer camp put digital cameras into the hands of 6- and 7-year-olds. And then I was also wondering, what will the results be? Sometimes the kids get so excited, their hands are shaking. But then the first time I ended up looking through the pictures that they'd taken, it was completely eye-opening. Even just seeing how the difference in kids' heights from grown-ups' heights just gives a completely different perspective that I hadn't seen before.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this for you, but we're gonna have you guys try to open it first, okay? That's a lid, and Sean has this cool technology. What is that?
It's a big magnet.
And we'll all take a turn. Okay, here comes the lever. The magnet was on there. Who's gonna try pushing on it first? Okay. Oh, there we go. That's the ticket. At the same time, the same thing, to show where the pipes are. So if I'm gonna need to dig a hole in the street, I now know that I have to be careful because there are pipes here. What do you think? What do you think the blue pipes would be? Yes?
Water pipes.
I can just go home now. You can have my job. Water pipes, that's it.
Who has the rain barrel? How deep is it? It's not very deep. I'm making an island. It's not that deep. It's deep. Someone step in. Why don't you come and join us?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Anytime you
Press this button that has a triangle.
Whose is that?
I thought
Ooh, good
the
pick.
clarifier room was very beautiful, actually. It is this big circular room, and then it has this like brrr hum.
That's the flock, and as it settles, it pulls with it color, organic matter, some bacteria if we're lucky. That's what that basin does.
We have seconds.
Yeah. I'm afraid we're
Well, I really wanted to get the kids out to Sarita. And I think seeing a wetland, which if you're an ecologist is a wetland, and to some it's a bird sanctuary. And
A crane over there. There was.
Just flew away.
Snail shell.
It's a big bird.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at the beautiful lacy wings, too.
See those wavy?
I mean, depending on your role in natural resources and environment, you see it that way. But for the civil engineers, it's part of this giant system, this stormwater system, and it's the above ground section. And the kids, because we're doing the water journey, can also see it in both ways. And then when they're planting there and actually helping water stay on that site and have less of it rush off into the Mississippi, like they are having a little role, a little impact in keeping a little bit more water that might be carrying a bunch of pollutants from the state fair, from the campus, from spilling straight into the river.
Does somebody know like why these plants, these native plants, are helpful for
when the rain comes and you want it to go back into the ground?
And the soil was perfect, just a little mucky to feel that kind of wetlandy soil themselves. Everybody wanted to do it. And it involved getting wet and dirty, so that was exciting.
Well, Rebecca Barney is a student in the Master of GIS program, and she works for USpatial, who is one of the partners on the grant, who is a wonderful resource because she has the technical expertise to help support the map-making process behind the story maps, but she's also an artist, and she designed map art activities that allowed the kids to reflect on where they went and really kind of relive the experience. So at the beginning of camp, we told the campers that they would help tell the story of water to share with the public using story maps, and that their observations and photographs would make this story come alive. And what the map does is it helps draw the lines between the places that they see, and so that the kids can look visually at the land and say, oh, I went here, here, and here, following the water's flow, and really understand that it's part of this continuous story of water flowing through the land. So it helps them make sense of how all the pieces of their experience come together.
I'd like you to think of the Mississippi River not just as this skinny little line of water, but I'd like you to think of the Mississippi River as the whole middle part of the country. Anytime it rains between the Appalachian Mountains in the east and the Rocky Mountains in the west, all of that water is all flowing downhill on its way to become part of the Mississippi River. And so when the water gets to the river, we can look at how clean it is, and then that kind of helps us understand if we're doing a good job taking care of the land.
Look, there's a bit more rain. There's going to be a bit more.
It's the hydro cycle. It's the water cycle.
Are you ready?